there's always something that pushes you into spirituality, and that's going to be deep darkness. The periods prior to that is always going to be deep darkness. And for me, childhood I was a disturbed child, and probably there were not many reasons for why I was disturbed. It was just that my mental inclination was nobody loves me, or people don't, I'm not respected, and all of these things. Later on, when I got into spirituality, I understood that it's all your energy.
Hello, everyone. I am Saju and welcome to Quest for Peace. Today's guest is a certified life coach and energy healer for a holistic journey of self discovery. Using ancient Eastern practices, he offers aura reading, energy healing, and spiritual guidance to balance your energy and harmonize your life. He's also a product consultant at the Chi Life Center. So, welcome, Sharat, to my podcast, Quest for Peace. I'm really appreciative that you're here, and I know how late it is. You are right now in India, and you stayed up to speak to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Saju. It's a pleasure for me. I didn't stay up too late because I usually sleep at 12 o'clock, so it's absolutely fine. No issues at all.
Okay, wonderful. That's good to know. So I don't feel so guilty. I'm so excited to speak to you because the very first time we spoke, it was because I was searching for something for infinite love to bring in more peace and more help for people that are going through so much now with everything mentally, physically, psychologically, spiritually. It's a really big roller coaster out there. And I heard about the Chi system. It just happened that you and I met, and I just loved everything that you had to say. You're so deep and such a beautiful heart. And I said I had to have you here to share you with everyone. So thank you for being here. And please tell me all about you. What do you mean by you are an aura reader? How does that work?
Sure. Thank you so much again for the introduction. I had my own spiritual awakening during COVID, which is 2020. My background is actually Indian, but I grew up in Dubai for most part of my life. Then I decided to stay away from the heat and move to Australia in 2017, 18. I love the place. I love the beaches. I love the most amazing tropical weather, which is completely different to what there is in Dubai. And once I moved there, I started working my corporate job. Did it for like more than 3 years. And then COVID hit. A lot of things in my life started falling apart, whether that was relationships or my career or just my overall purpose in life. I was like stranded in the middle of nowhere. That's the kind of feeling that I had at that time. And then I entered spirituality because I found my guru in 2020. And my guru has this origins of Siddha lineage. So for anybody who doesn't know what is Siddha, so that's ancient form of rishis, and they have a particular kind of lineage that they are from. And that's how I found them through the internet. And once I found them, it was completely different. I got into meditation, kundalini, chakra, healing, all of that. And from then on, my life has always been about introspection, about what is human life for? I mean, what is our purposes? What are we here to do in our lives? And that's where the entire journey of astrology, numerology, understanding auras and chakras and everything began for me. And then I actually understood that we are not just a physical body. All of us, we have physical body, mental body, emotional body, spiritual and astral bodies. So there are 5 bodies that we talk about in ancient Indian system of. So they talk about the 5 different bodies in different ways, but it's similar in Western system as well. So there is a 5-body system, and we've got to heal it holistically. And that's where my interest for aura reading started, where you understand that it's not just the physical issues that you got to look at. If someone's got cancer or someone's got diabetes, there's still some kind of a root cause that created that diabetes or cancer, probably 3 months or 6 months earlier. And if we can find that, and if we can treat it on an emotional or a mental level, that is going to be treated, or that is not going to be even shown up or shown on the physical body. So that's where my inquisitiveness started, and that's where I learned aura reading. So aura reading, what I do is I use my third eye. So anybody who knows spirituality, they would know that we have a chakra here in the third eye, and third eye has this power of intuition and looking beyond what you see on this 3D plane. So I've done enough spiritual work and enough meditations that I've opened my third eye, and using that, I scan for somebody's aura using picture. So they just got to give me a picture, and then I read their aura, see what kind of blockages they have, whether they have heart chakra blockages or they have soul star or throat chakra blockages, for example. So I look at that and see what's needed for them to heal. And then based on whatever is scanned on the aura and whatever I see on that, I provide recommendations, I provide coaching, and even healing after that.
Sure, that's wonderful. So if you look at someone and you know that the throat chakra needs to be healed, what do you do? Do you help in any way to clear that, or you just tell someone, okay, your throat chakra is not working, and these are the things you need to do? So how does that work?
Sure. So basically, I have a report. So I give everybody a report about 10 pages or more. And in that report, I usually write a detailed kind of analysis of the entire chakra system, the aura level, aura size. There are a few aspects to that, which I will possibly cover as well later. But the main thing is, let's say, for example, someone's got a throat chakra issue. The reason for that throat chakra issue could have been so many things, right? It could be something like, there are a lot of people who are born into, let's say, for example, women born into families where there's a lot of male ego or male chauvinism, for example, that takes place. And because of that, they don't respond, they don't talk what they're supposed to talk. So they don't express their highest truth, either because they're suppressed or because they don't want that kind of conflicts in the family. What happens is later on that turns into something like a thyroid or any other conditions in the throat. So it's important that everybody speaks their truth, and important that you've got to be yourself. And that's why, Saju, a lot of people say that authenticity is the highest vibration. It vibrates even higher than love, for example. And that's one of the main issues that causes thyroid, for example. And I've got a lot of people in my own family who's got thyroid. And when you go deep into their past and their childhood, there probably are so many of these traumas that you will uncover, and you understand that there's a problem. Now, coming to what can be done through for this, what I do is I recommend something like, a crystal, something like this. Now, for example, I have this crystal. This is a blue crystal. It's called lapis lazuli. And that's a crystal which is specifically for your throat chakra. Now, what that does is it opens up a lot of those blockages from your throat chakra so that you start speaking the truth, not just thinking that, I might create a conflict or somebody else might get hurt because of what I say, but you are going to speak your highest truth no matter what. So it could be crystals, it could be music therapy, it could be something like, probably know about Rudraksh, right? So Rudraksh is an Indian way of using as well. So there could be Rudraksh. It could be so many other remedies that I specify on the report. And now we've got technology to do all of these things, aura coils and she coils and everything, which we will talk about. But yeah, that's a sample of what I do.
Wow, that's wonderful. And I completely understand about the thyroid and the throat chakra because I was married into an arranged family. I was married for 35 years. Throughout this years, the same thing. I had to be quiet because I was brought up with the knowledge that you need to do what you're told. You need to get married, and you just be quiet and just follow your husband, and he is your God. You know how it is in the Indian culture. He is your God, and whatever he says goes. And the type of person I have been as a child, it was not working for me. It was like a conflict for me, but I had to just keep saying, no, just keep quiet for the sake of the kids, for the sake of everything. And finally, there came a point after I started Infinite Love when I started talking to everybody else about self-love, and I started realizing, wait, how am I loving myself? And why is this, why am I not saying anything? And I've had thyroid issues. I've had blood pressure issues, all these things, trying to just push everything down. And so when I started letting go and I started learning more and more and loving myself more and more, and finally getting a divorce and saying, this is not going to work for me anymore. After 35 years, I'm doing a lot better. Things are better.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's always a realization, like self-realization, right? You want to always step into your power, highest power, and you've got to be okay with people getting offended. That's the actual truth. And it doesn't matter. The truth is between you and the higher self, or you and the divine. And as long as that is intact and that is genuine, you don't have to worry about anything else. Everything else will take its course.
Well, I totally agree because we are each powerful individuals. Every single person is. And we don't have to give away our power to anybody else. And, yes, we need to love and be kind, but not so much so that people can, just overpower
Over
us or
you,
overtake us. Yes, yes. So absolutely.
absolutely.
agree with that now. I did not many years ago, but now I've learned. And with a lot of coaching, hypnotherapy,
Yeah.
everything, it's really, it's
Yeah.
taken a lot of work to get me where I
I think
am.
we all have to do a lot of work. I mean, we've all gone through that, cycles of periods of doing so much of inner work where we
Mhm.
just get stuck that it's just inner work, inner work, inner work. There's still so much to do. And then we sort of forget that we are still living on this 3D plane. We've got to do something along with the inner works, but everybody gets back on track. That's what I've seen usually.
Yes, that's beautiful. As a child, did you ever think that you would be doing this work? Is it something that has been in you as you were growing up? And then, of course, I have to be you're an engineer, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So knowing the Indian way of life, we are, told that this is the way you need to go and this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
How was your childhood like? What did you feel?
That's obviously that's you've just summarized that. In India, you've got three options with your life. You either got to be an engineer, doctor, or you got to jump off a cliff. Thankfully, I didn't do the third option, and I ended up being an engineer, just like a lot of people. But there was this curiosity in me about, because I did something called aerospace engineering, because I had this curiosity about of space in general, about what's beyond this space and what's all of this. Engineering or aerospace engineering at that time seemed like it was a perfect fit to understand about things that fly, at least, even though it is not beyond this planet. It's still within the realms of this planet. But once I finished that, when I was working in a company in Queensland, I was doing design work and stuff like that for airlines. When I was doing that, suddenly there was an emptiness or hollowness inside of in my body. And it was saying, there's a lot more problems that people are facing. Like, forget about the problems of machines, like flights and all of that. The problems faced by people are much more than any other kind of problem. So, and I felt that, for some reason, there were things happening around me and stuff like that. And I felt that this is where I want to go. And then started my first awakening phase. I mean, 2020 was the second awakening phase, but first awakening phase started in about 2015 or 2016. And that's when, everything all about, I understood that I need to know something beyond. So in Indian tradition or Indian philosophy, they say there are two types of vidya. Para vidya and there is apara vidya. Apara vidya is whatever you can learn on this planet, whether that's engineering and accountancy or MBBS or whatever it is, which you can, which will help you sustain or live on this planet. But there's something else called transcendental knowledge, which is Paravidya, which goes beyond, which is metaphysics, which is all about quantum physics and the unmanifest realm, right? So I was always interested in that. And that's how my foray into all of that began. And now it's just completely into that. No more engineering for me, thankfully. It's all about helping people achieve their highest potential.
So thank you for that. But you had an awakening as after you started doing, that's what I'm understanding. After you became a engineer and you were working, you already had this inclination that you wanted to reach higher from a younger age. And then when you came to that point, you said, wait, there's got to be more to this.
Absolutely. Exactly. I mean, it was just that I was not satisfied with what I learned with engineering. That is why I wanted to go beyond that. And that's where spirituality, finding a guru, all of these things made a lot of sense. And, there's always something that pushes you into spirituality, and that's going to be deep darkness. The periods prior to that is always going to be deep darkness. And for me, I was a disturbed child. And probably there were not many reasons for why I was disturbed. It was just that my mental inclination was nobody loves me, or people don't, I'm not respected and all of these things. Later on, when I got into spirituality, I understood that it's all your energy. You didn't love yourself and you didn't have the self-esteem yourself. But there was nobody to guide me and say that this was what was lacking in you. And I thought it was always me and, I was always blaming myself. But then once you get into understanding the higher realms, you know that it is a complete reflection of yourself. The inner world creates the outer world. And my inner world when I was a child was very bad. But then I started fixing it. And now the outer world always mirrors whatever I am feeling on the inside. So yeah, to answer your question, that's where it started.
That's awesome. I would love to talk more about that now. So whatever we are inside of us is what we see outside of us. So what are we seeing in this world right now with all the chaos and the uncertainty, the wars and all that? How's that reflecting outside from inside of us?
100%. I mean, that's a beautiful question. Whatever is happening on the outside, like I said, is there inside. So we are made up of 5 elements, which is earth, water, air, fire, and ether. And you see the same things that's there on the outside, which is the 5 elements. So the fire inside of us is the subtle fire, right? It helps you with the digestion. It helps you grow in life. It helps you fight and, build that empire that you want. That's your inner fire. That's a subtle energy. The fire on the outside, you can see it. And same goes with water as well. We have 70% water inside our body. You have 70% of water in the entire world as well. It's just 30% of earth and 70% water. So that's the entire phrase. They say that the microcosm and the macrocosm is the same. So whatever is there inside of you, let's say you have stress and anxiety and depression and fear. If the energy is filled with all of these emotions inside of your body, you call it consciousness, which is also emotional frequency. If your energy is that, it's going to create the reality on the outside that's going to mirror that. Now, for example, I'll actually give you a story from my own life. So I had a friend during childhood. He was my schoolmate as well. He was my classmate as well. And his mother would always compare him to me because I was always the top 5 in my school. And he was not possibly, he was an average student, and he would probably always go and ogle at girls all the time. And his mother was, complaining about that to my mother all the time. So, we had a background there. So I always felt that, why is she comparing him to me? Because we are all different and everybody's got their own sort of journey. But anyways, fast forward so many years later, when I was doing my engineering and he was doing his engineering in another city, what happened was there was a phase in my life after engineering where I attended a few interviews and I didn't get selected for any of them. And there was also a little bit of alcohol problem with me. So just to, cover up that depression or I'm not good kind of vibration, I used to drink a lot. And then suddenly I get a call from Akshay that he is getting married. And I went to attend his wedding in like 2 hours from where I live in a place called Kerala. And I went to visit his wedding. And then there, his mom was there. And his mom suddenly came up to me and said, "Hey, Sharat, how are you?" And then her friend was beside her as well. And then she introduced me to her friend by saying that this was a person that I always compared my son with. And I always used to tell my son to learn from him. But now look what happened. My son landed a job first before Sharat, and my son also got married before him. And at that time, Saju, I would say my internal world was a wreck. It was like a mirror that was breaking. It was like slowly breaking during that time. And at that time, his mom was the villain for me. And I was just pissed at that time. Fast forward so many years later, when I understood spirituality, I understood that it was not her that triggered me. It was my internal emotions of fear, anxiety. Am I good enough? Am I worth it? Maybe I'm not worthy of getting a good job or a salary. That internal emotional world created her to say something like that and trigger me. And that is what it says. Primary reality is inside, secondary reality is outside. So whatever is inside, there will be people who come and mirror that. There will be even machines that can come and create some kind of issue or support you in that. So it's all an inner reflection. It's all your inner dialogues. And as you fix that, and as you move up in the consciousness scale, and let's say you're always vibrating that everything happens for me for the highest good. I'm also always grateful for whatever things that happen in my life. When you actually vibrate at that, now the universe is going to be giving you more of the same thing. All right, here's more things for you to be grateful about. Here's more things for you to be happy about. So it's about how we fine-tune ourselves and clear all that inner child issues in ourselves to get to that frequency. That was my main lessons from that.
That's wonderful. So then with all the chaos that's happening outside of us is our collective chaos that we are feeling inside of us, the collective fears that we have inside of us that is showing up outside. I also realized that there are some people who are more triggered than others for what's happening outside. I mean, they're angry, they're speaking in a harsh way. And then there's some like, I'll take my example. I look at what's going outside. I go, okay, but that's not happening in my world. I'm doing my part to help in my way. And I'm going to just be at peace in this space and just watch everything that's going on. And just, someone told us, be in the eye of the storm. So I really take that to heart. Like, you be in the eye and allow the storm to go around you. You be in peace and bring peace. So a lot of us are doing this work, and that we're trying to bring in that love and peace into this world so that it can, if there are enough of us doing it, it will calm down everything else. This is what my belief is. What do you think?
Absolutely. It's about the synergy that we create with one another, right? So if, let's say, for example, I create a certain kind of vibration, right? And that vibration is going to it's going to, amplify, and it's going to go out into the world, and someone else is going to catch up on that vibration. Maybe they're going to act on that. For example, if let's say I'm angry and I get angry on the road, somebody just, overtakes me or something like that. And then I get angry with them. Now their mind is sort of impacted, and then they go and probably curse somebody else. And you have that entire karma coming back to you as well. It always comes back as full circle, no matter what you do. So even the small things, if you are careful and say that, okay, no matter what's happening, I am on my internal world, it's always going to be peaceful. My internal world is not going to be reactive to what's happening on the outside, because whatever is going to happen on the outside for everybody, it's different, because that's needed since everybody evolves at their own speed. But for me, where focus goes, energy flows. So wherever there might be so much of chaos happening in the world, but there might also be so much of philanthropy and evolution and people becoming spiritually awakened that's happening in the world. Where am I going to focus? Here or there? That's going to determine my life from now on. So we are
That's
creators for
beautiful.
sure.
Very beautifully put. Thank you. Thank you. So it's interesting that you read auras and then you started working with a company that works with aura. It's called Aura anyway. The system that Infinite Love purchased, it's the Aura Coils, correct? And can you just give us a little bit? Tell me what these systems do. I know we've brought it into Infinite Love to help everyone. We have the EE system in here, and I was looking for another powerful system. And when you spoke about it, I was really very excited and interested, thinking that, okay, this is another very powerful system. To have two powerful systems in one place would be amazing. So I would love for you to please, for my audience, to talk about what is the Chi Aura system? What does it do? How does it help?
Sure, 100%. So Chi coils or Chi aura coils, basically, they are just wellness devices that create electromagnetic fields using their own frequencies and whatever you input onto those systems. And that changes your entire biofield. That helps you with your wellness, that helps you with your daily needs, whether that's energy, whether that's power lifting, whether that's general healing with any kind of wellnesses or any kind of issues that you go through. It supports your entire biofield, because as we all know, we have trillions of cells in our body. We have 40 trillion cells in our body, and in each cell there are trillions of molecules, and all of these cells, they vibrate at a certain frequency. And only when these cells are not aligned, or when there are so much of less charge in these cells, that's when diseases come up. That is when a lot of things in the body does not align itself. Because as humans, we're always supposed to, for example, we're always supposed to be grounded with the earth. We're always supposed to be in touch with the universe, which is something that's missing for the last so many years, and people are getting back into it. And this is just one of those systems that helps people with their daily recovery and a lot of other things, whether that be relationship, whether that be abundance, attracting the right clients, or even healing a lot of other issues, supporting your healing journey, whether that's the most difficult kind of cancer issues, or even the smaller kind of depression or anxiety. I wouldn't say they're smaller, but relatively speaking, with cancer, these systems will help you, because when you change your aura, you change your frequency and you change your destiny. Just like what David, who's the company owner, he speaks about this. He has a book on the website. It's just $1, and he talks about this in his book called Change Your Frequency and Change Your Destiny. So whatever frequency you have in terms of a specific thing, you can change that by putting an alternate frequency, and that is going to get you the result. Because law of attraction says you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. And who you are can be changed with machines. That's the best thing.
So we have the system, and we have the console where you can choose the different vibrations. And there's so many in there. It's crazy. I went in to look for a thyroid, because everyone has thyroid. So I want to look. I think they're rife. They're different frequencies. There's rife frequency, there's quantum frequency, there's packages with all the quantum frequencies. There's frequencies that the sound of the sun, the sound of the earth. It's crazy. Could you explain what the difference in the rife frequency is and quantum frequency, and how do you choose one or the other?
Sure, 100%. So Rife Frequencies was developed by this doctor called Dr. Raymond Rife. And he was a doctor in 1930s, and he found out that every disease in the body has a particular frequency. And through his research, he found out those numbers for those frequencies. Like, for example, he found out that cancer vibrates at this particular frequency. Diabetes vibrates at, let's say, I don't know, 1360. frequency, for example. Every single disease, he's found that these are the frequencies. And as long as you're going to induce that same frequency on the biofield, you're going to change those. You're going to destroy those cells without affecting the other cells, for example. And his work benefited a lot of people at that time, a lot of cancer patients, a lot of other people as well. They benefited from him. But unfortunately, I think he was shut down because of whatever happened with the medical industry and everything. But now it's coming in a full circle. Now a lot of people are getting into it. They are understanding that alternative healing is much more needed because we need holistic health. Medical industry, probably they're looking at just the physical body, right? But holistic health looks at the entire body. It's also emotional. It's also mental. It's also spiritual. And it's also astral, where when you're meditating and your astral body is traveling to the other part and you're downloading a lot of stuff and you energize your system, which is going to affect your physical body. So it's about that holistic interplay with these systems. And coming to the frequencies, so Dr. Rife has more than 10,000 plus frequencies that he developed in 1930s. And they were one-dimensional frequencies. So at that time, they're very powerful. Even now, they're very powerful. But what our owner, David, has done is he sort of expanded from those frequencies, which is the one-dimensional frequencies. And for the last 15, 20 years, he's been researching on these. And he's found frequencies like quantum, higher quantum, advanced quantum, and inner circle frequencies. So they go beyond 2D, 3D, and 4D levels, which means when you're vibrating at a higher frequency, you get more results faster. And that's the entire reason why we have different sets of frequencies with different systems. But even if, let's say, for example, in your case, you bought a Coil Aura 180, for example, and you wanted the highest frequencies, which has the most powerful abundance frequencies where you attract a lot of clients and sales and all of that, you just had to upgrade from whatever frequencies you have with the current system to the higher one for a difference. So that's the beauty about those frequencies. And yeah, it works brilliantly. We have cancer frequencies of Rife, but we also have cancer frequencies of advanced, frequencies like advanced quantum frequencies, which work even more powerfully.
What frequency is that? I have not found the one for cancer are you talking about in the quantum frequencies?
I'm talking about the advanced quantum frequencies. It has got something called Cancer Conqueror.
Okay.
And it's got like 6 different cancer frequencies. So very powerful. I've had a lot of, testimonials regarding that as well. So yeah, there's plenty of frequencies. There's frequencies for, for example, I use a frequency called Heart Restore, which is an inner circle frequency, I'm guessing. And that sort of helps your energy levels on the heart chakra change. And you would know that heart chakra is the chakra for self-love, right? There have been so many periods or past experiences with my life where I sort of, blame myself a lot. I say that, okay, this happened because of my, my troubles or my decision making and everything. And I used to sort of, do that a lot, which means that then I was vibrating at a frequency of self-criticism. And what's that going to attract? More of self-criticism. Now, how are you going to change that? Through self-love. Whether that is through coaching, where you want to change your self-love, whether you want to start feeling worthy of the achievements you've had or what an amazing person you are, how kind you are. It does not matter. You just have to find a few reasons why you are an amazing person. And that has to create that self-love frequency inside of you. Now, imagine if somebody has to go through a coach and a counselor and they have to do all the work for the client to do this. And then you have these machines, which has already got the frequency of self-love attained. And you just play that frequency so that after you do that inner work, whatever frequency you are in, the machine has already got that. And you're just playing that and changing your frequency.
Wow, that's wonderful. So, for instance, we do meditations over here, and I play a specific frequency to help open the pineal gland to have that, very. And believe me, after the meditations, people are like, it's very hard for them to come back. I have to really ground them, and they are in so much peace and they're unbelievable. It feels really good. It's completely different from when we used to do the meditations, just the meditation. This one with the frequencies is a game changer. It is. It's amazing.
Give it a few more days, Saju. You will start seeing things like possibly, what's that thing called? Telepathy and telekinesis and all of that. Not weeks. It might take a lot of time for all of that.
Yeah.
But, telepathy, telekinesis, all of these things can be developed with your third eye. So there's no limit to all of these. You can be a superhuman with these technologies. And yeah, you just got to explore.
Well, first things first, we have to help people get healthy. That, when you're not healthy, you can't focus on anything else. You cannot focus on bringing peace to your life because you're like angry all the time when your body hurts or you have blood pressure issues or like cancer or anything like that. I know someone came in with cancer and she was doing a lot of for herself through other doctors. And when she came in, she said it's getting a little bit better, but it's not quite there yet. And sitting in the system and the frequency for, I think, about a month or two, it helped her, I guess, boost her system. So it was able to accept all the other things that her doctor was giving her. So now she says the doctor can't find the cancers.
Yeah, I mean, that's just one of those brilliant testimonials, right? And
right.
Because it's all about the cells, right? Your cells always communicate with the other cells. And that's the entire topic of epigenetics, which talk about these things, where your cell has a charge. And also there are other things like Chi, for example, is also known as prana in Indian tradition. And it's also called life force energy in Western tradition. Symbolically, it's hydrogen. Prana is the same as hydrogen. So if you look at water, water has a chemical compound named as H2O, which is two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. So that means it has both hydrogen and oxygen. And in the ancient times, rishis used to live without oxygen because they only survived on prana, which is chi. You can get it from the sun. You can get it by grounding yourself on the earth, walk bare feet 30 minutes every day. You can actually hug a tree, for example, get a lot of prana. You can actually touch babies. The babies carry a lot of prana inside of them. So you can do all of that. Or now with these systems, you can access it much easier, even if you're, disconnected with the earth. You're wearing your leather shoes, and you're going to work, and then you're coming back late at night with that leather shoes on, no connection with the earth at all. But still, when you have these machines and when you play these frequencies, the prana in your body can increase. And when the prana increases, that's where the diseases start to go away. Because when you give prana to a particular area of your body, whether that's, your lungs or your heart, prana is going to change a lot of things inside of that. And it's going to change the cells as well. And that is where the entire upliftment or recovery from any of these diseases happen. So
yes, yes, that's true. That really does help. I've in fact tell all of the people that come to Infinite Love that whatever you have, please go see your doctor. Please make sure that you take care of yourself. And then when you come here, and we're not saying that we're going to heal you. When you come here, there are systems in place to help just elevate so that whatever you're working on will have a better chance at getting you to that space faster.
Absolutely.
That's basically what we have. Also, I've noticed that because our space is so serene, we have soft lighting and beautiful music playing, and the music is very with frequencies also. And then we have the frequency playing, and then we have the EE system. So when you walk into our space, it's just beautiful, relaxing, and people fall asleep. Now, how many times do you actually take care of yourself enough to be in that parasympathetic space that you sleep and you rest and allow your body to heal itself? I think that is so important. So that plays a big part in our healing process also. And as you said, it's a holistic healing. You have to take care of your body and take care of your mind, right? You have to learn to be positive and think positive. It cannot happen forcefully. But all of those things are so important. It's holistic. It's everything. What we eat, what we drink, the type of water we drink, the type of food we're putting in our body. Are we resting? Are we meditating? Meditation is so important to get you to be centered, and there'll be so much peace. One thing that I find really difficult after having the system, and I'm telling people to come in, everyone says they're very busy. Life is so busy. And how would you answer, what would you say to people who tell you, so busy, I have no time?
Well, I mean, that probably you would have to tell them that whether would you come in for a session and have peace and, tranquility for so many hours of a week, which you're probably missing right now, or just stay in the same kind of life right now and then build up a lot more anxiety and depression and all of that. So would you not come and experience a 30-minute session for your own well-being? Ask them that question and they'll open up. They'll always say that everything is important, right? I mean, imagine somebody saying that I've got $1 trillion, I've got a 17 million penthouse in New York, but I have no friends. I think I've talked about this example. I don't know if it was with you or someone else. Someone has a $17 million penthouse in New York, But there's a lot of other things missing. They don't have the right friends, or they're sick and deprived of the right health and everything. Do you call that wealth? I mean, is that wealth in complete fulfillment? Absolutely not, right? There is something missing. So you want to have a complete holistic point of view, because God created us to have abundance in all forms, whether that is incredible relationships, incredible wealth and assets and abundance and happiness and joy and friendship. God created us for all of these things. So if you think that one aspect of my life is fine, the other aspect may not need that much of, you know, you know, focus, then you're probably not living your highest potential. And to create that highest potential, you've got to create that energy inside of you. And if technology can do it much faster than a Reiki healer or therapist, for example, I've seen people go to therapists for 10 years straight, and they're trying to heal. There's one problem, they solve it, and then they go to the therapist for the other problem, right? And I've actually faced this as well with a lot of my clients when I'm coaching. It's like, okay, one thing is solved, and now 3 months or 4 months down the line, they come with something else. And I'm like, as much as I would like you to return and then I can coach you and make money and everything, I would want you to sort of sort this out faster, so that and I've given you all of the tools which you can do. That's going to help you, because we all need to heal ourselves, inner child and all the traumas and everything. And that's where I thought, if technology can do it faster than a Reiki healer, for example, when you're trying to heal somebody using Reiki, you could do 4 or 5 clients in a day and you might get really drained out. I have a friend in Australia, and she actually is a doctor as well as a Reiki healer. And she tried healing somebody who had cancer and ended up having throat cancer for herself. So, not saying that it is because of that energy transfer from the client. It could be a multitude of reasons, but that could be a very strong reason where you have to still clear your energy. No matter what you're doing, you're still interacting with somebody else. You've got to clear your energy so that it does not affect you. So that's when I thought technology is going to do it much faster for people.
So that's why you started looking for some technology and found the Chi coil system.
There's a saying, Saju, what you seek is seeking you, right? So
You're
when you're
right.
on the lookout for things, just like how you found the system, there was always something inside of you that was looking for it. So
I don't know. It was very weird. I'll tell you how it happened. I was looking for more information on the EE system, which we had already got in. And even that was a fluke how I found it. And then I came across David's video comparing the EE system with the Chi coil. And I said, wait, what's this? And that's when I said, wait, I need to get to know more about this. And that's how I reached out, and you called me and we spoke. So
yeah,
whatever was supposed to come through, I was just searching for something to elevate what we do here at Infinite Love, because just the meditations and all were not working from what I was seeing everywhere outside, that a lot more work was needed. And I kept asking and asking the universe, what do I do? And the EE system came up. We went somewhere and someone gave us a card and said, you should try this out. And when I looked into it, I said, wow, this is amazing. I never thought that we're going into this kind of medical side of doing things. We were more into just holistic, and I said, no, we can't just do that. We need more. So here we are. We're trying to work more. I'm also doing the practitioner course, and I'm learning so much from it. The practitioner course for the Chi coil systems, and I'm learning a lot, and it's amazing. Still not done. I have a little way to go still, but I'm so happy I decided to take that, and that will help me personally, and it'll help me help others a lot more. So that's amazing. I'm really very happy that I came across you and your system. Before we get too far, I want to talk about also the scalar energy part of it. A lot of people ask me, what is scalar energy? And the first time you explained it to me, it was so clear and so good. And I would love for you to explain it to my audience. What is scalar energy?
okay. So scalar energy is also known as scalar waves rather. It's known as Tesla waves. In Indian tradition, it's not known as Shiva Shakti energy. In the Western tradition, it's called 0 point energy. Now, 0 point energy, a lot of spiritual people might know it as well. That's where the field of everything starts. That's where the entire universe originated from, the field of zero. And what that says is, when you compare that with Bible, for example, the Bible says that in the beginning, the word was with God, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. And then from there on, there was light and sound, and everything else came upon after these two things. So the origin of the universe is light and sound. So scalar waves, just like that, it is that entire energy of frequency that you can tap into, which is faster. Scientists have found it to be faster than speed of light. So I'll actually, explain the same kind of explanation that I give to you during our call. Imagine, let's say, for example, you're vibrating at a certain frequency, right? Now, depending on what your vibration is, that's what you're going to attract in life, whether that's relationship or your wealth or your friendships or whatever it is, right? So let's say you're vibrating at this certain frequency, and most people know the scale of consciousness of David Hawkins that goes between 0 to 1,000. And most people at the moment, they found it to be vibrating anywhere from 100 and 250. That's the overall general vibration. Some people might be higher. If you look at Buddha, Krishna, Jesus, they were all vibrating at 1,000 because that's the highest that they were vibrating at on this plane. So let's say you're vibrating at a certain frequency, and let's say you're praying to the divine, right? By the time your prayers go from the top of your head and it keeps going up and up and up and reaches the sun, it takes 8 minutes if you were vibrating at speed of light, right? And speed of light is... So I actually want to touch upon speed of light as well. So speed of light is 300,000 kilometers per second. And they have found the radius or the circumference of the Earth from the center around 40,000 kilometers. So 40,000 kilometers size is the distance of the Earth. 300,000 kilometers per second is the speed of light, which means in 1 second, light can travel 7.5 times that of Earth, which is why when you see healers, Reiki healers, prana healers, anybody who does distant healing, you might be in America and someone else might be in Antarctica, but you're still using the solar system, the stars, the constellations to heal them, right? And when you say you're healing them, it's actually not you healing them. You're just getting the energies on their system, channelize the energies on their system where the cells always heal themselves. Your body always heals itself. And that's the state of homeostasis that they call about the cells. So imagine if you were vibrating at that speed of light and you're praying to the divine, by the time it reaches, it goes from the top of your head. Let's say you have a desire. I don't know. Do you have any particular desire, for example?
A success of infinite love.
Okay, success of infinite love. Obviously, I know that it is already very successful. It is coming up. It's growing a lot. But let's say, for example, you're praying to the divine that I want success of infinite love. I want more than 100 employees or 1,000 employees, and it grows into a massive business, right? By the time the waves go from the top of your head and it reaches the sun, if you were to vibrate at speed of light, it takes 8 minutes. But if you want to go vibrate, if you want to send that to the creator who's on the other side of the galaxy or in the universe, who's sitting there with his white suit and everything like in the movie Matrix, by the time it reaches him and then he responds, there's a delay because your vibration of speed of light is still not a match for him. Because speed of light was the only kind of vibration they mentioned. They said the universe or the 3D world operates in. But now it takes a lot of time. That's why there's a difference. There's a time delay in your manifestation of 100 employees, growth in multiple cities, and having your business in so many other places. But imagine now with scalar waves, which can be created by, which I will get to in a minute as well, how you create scalar waves with the product. If you're vibrating at scalar waves, which is billion times faster than speed of light, now it's almost like, Saju, you pray to the divine within 10 days, or I'm just giving you an example, within 10 days, it reaches the divine. They're saying that, okay, I need $100 million company or $100 billion company. And he responds, and you have that faster manifestation of business growth, more employees and everything on your earth, because now you're vibrating faster, which is matching with the 5D or 6D or even 7D and higher. That's the simple way to put scalar waves.
Wonderful.
And you can use the systems that, so with our systems, you have the aura coil system, which you've got. So you use the yin coil, which is the feminine energy, the yang coil, which is the masculine energy. When you phase these against each other and then play a frequency, let's say, for example, you're playing a diabetes frequency or a love frequency, for example. Let's say you're playing a love frequency. Now that love frequency is converted into magnetic energy through the coils, and the coils use something called PEMF, which is pulsed electromagnetic field. And because now you have two coils facing each other, whenever there is a yin coil and the yang coil, the interference that it creates causes the scalar waves to come out. So now it's creating that vibration for better love or attracting the right relationships and everything, and it gets transferred to the divine and comes back faster because now you're vibrating at this frequency of I am having the best love of my life and all of that. You're already vibrating at that frequency. Now the universe just has to match. And you couldn't do that with your inner child healing, with your counseling, with your grief repression, all of these things, because it takes a lot of time. Now this technology has already tapped into that frequency. You just have to play a button, click a button, and you already put in that frequency, and you start attracting whatever you want, whether that's improvement in your career or recovery from an illness or attracting the right abundance in clients or relationships.
That's awesome. So we have the E system and the Oracle system both causing scalar waves. So it's very powerful scalar waves in our room. So putting on the chi coils, you're in the room and the chi coils are on. Let's say I'm there and I want to play the love. Right now, I don't have a separate room. I have everyone in the same room, but I play the love sequence and I have 3 other people in the room, but I'm playing it for myself. It's not a problem. They can all get it, right? And it'll just increase everyone's, I don't know, the hertz or whatever of where you're vibrating. It'll just vibrate high for everyone. So it doesn't really
Absolutely.
matter.
Absolutely
And what
not.
if
Because, yeah.
I'm sorry, what if I have someone in the room that has diabetes and I put on the right frequency for diabetes and there are other people in the room? No issues, because again, it's just going to go higher. In case it's lower, it'll just be better and there won't be any issues for everyone.
Yeah, it is just
Okay.
acting as though getting your cells intact. So even if, let's say, they have some cells which is not intact, it'll get them to the right kind of frequencies. But even if they have everything intact, it is still not going to interfere with that, because the only reason for it to exist as a frequency is for it to get you in that homeostasis level with the cells. As simple as that. It's not trying to manipulate somebody else's cells or anything. It's always great. But having said that, if you were the one who wants to get that frequency, you'll be in the center of the chi calls and getting that, so that the entire focus is on you, basically.
But it still travels out, right? I believe the chi coils, the ones that we have, travels out 5,000 square feet.
4,500 square feet. Yes.
Yeah,
That's correct.
4,500, almost there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also the scalar waves from your system would go that far, or does it go further?
I mean, it goes up to 4,500 square feet, which is what it covers. But the chi coil aura as well, it's primarily for like a small group of people. So let's say 2 to 3 kind of people would be ideal for that kind of a system, as opposed to something having like a 8 coil system, which is for like more than 15 kind of people, where everybody comes in together and all of that. So primarily, when you're in the center, you've got to keep it somewhere between 2 to 6 feet apart from each other, the yin coil and the yang coil, and then use it. And that's where the effectiveness is always higher. So when you're doing something like that in the center of the room and somebody else is, let's say, in the corner of the room, there's always going to be more impact or effectiveness that you get compared to them. So that's why it's called a targeted frequency wellness. And
so if they're not facing each other, they're both facing outward, it still works?
It still works, but for a scalar energy to get created, you need that it has to interfere in the center. But having said that, even if you, let's say, face them, on a wall, and then they're not facing each other, there's still waves that's traveling. Somewhere along the line, it's going to intersect, right? And it's going to create a scalar energy, maybe not as powerful as when you're facing it against each other, but there will always be some kind of impact with that as well.
Wonderful. Okay. Anything else? I mean, I would love to hear. Is there anything else that I haven't asked you that you would like to share about the system, about yourself?
I think you've asked a few amazing questions as well. I mean, like, I think you've covered a lot. I would like you to sort of share your testimonies, because I know we've spoken about this 2 days ago, and you mentioned about somebody with the cancer, but there were a couple of other testimonies that you've actually had as well.
Yes.
So that might be good for the viewers, which if you
Sure.
could say.
Yeah, sure. So without giving out names, because I haven't got their permission, I just want to say that there was somebody who says that she's come over social anxiety and she's able to breathe better. She's had breathing issues. There's somebody else who says that she just felt she just cried, and she hasn't cried for years and years and years. And just by sitting in the system, something happened. The vibrations made her, cry so much, and she released a lot that she was carrying. And I was explaining to her that, the body knows where it needs to go to heal you. So I guess that was needed for her to release, so that, when we have so much emotions that are stuffed,
Yeah,
that's how we
suppressed
get
emotions.
sick.
Yeah.
That's how we get all these diseases, and they need releasing. So when she started releasing, and she's saying she's feeling amazing. So I've had a few, good. I'm just starting this new way of doing it. It's just, I think we started in January full force into this. So it's just been a couple of months where we're just starting March now, and already I'm seeing changes, and I've already seen people coming in to sign up slowly but surely until the word gets out. So I'm
Yeah, word
excited.
is definitely getting out. Don't worry about it. It's getting out at the speed of, I'm not even going to say speed of light. I'm going to say speed of scalar waves.
Scalar
The
waves.
word is going to, that's going to be our point of reference from now on.
Scalar waves, yes. Quickly, one more thing. If the system is in the room and nobody's in the room, does it still create some kind of waves for the building? Like, like even everything is energy, right? So if it's on, let's say we're putting on the abundance and we're not in there to increase our, abundance, but the room is in there, will it still create that energy to call in abundance?
Yes, of course it will, because now because it's invisible waves, we are not able to see, but
Mm-hmm.
because it's playing, the entire space is going to be filled with those frequencies. It's just the same example with mantras, for example. Like I am a guru who gives out a lot of mantras, and he just says, just play them in your laptop on your speakers and surround your space with that mantras, because the vibration of that mantra is going to surround that entire place, and it's going to be there. Like, you're not able to see it, but the electrons and protons and neutrons and the ions, they're all floating around. So even if you're playing it, it's going to be around the space for sure.
Beautiful. Talking about mantras, I know how important mantras and how important it is to pronounce them right. And I always tell the people who ask me, can you tell me some mantras? And I say, well, I'd rather you just listen to it, because they have to be pronounced perfectly, because then the vibration changes if you're not pronouncing it right. And then you're going into a different kind of vibration that you may not want. So is that correct? Is that what you have also found out?
Yeah, absolutely. My guru always says that, I mean, you need to, say the mantra properly. And that's why you need a guru who guides you with these things, right? So, even otherwise, you might find a lot of YouTube videos with the same mantra, and they might pronounce it in a similar kind of way. So you understand that this is how it is pronounced. But it's always better to get it from a guru or get it from a highly evolved person, because that person has that contact with those higher realms, because we're dealing with quantum energies. Mantras are quantum sounds, just like how we have quantum frequencies. It's all tapped in from the quantum energy field, right? That field is a field of infinite possibilities. At this moment, you might be you might be living this reality, but how about we change the switch? You want to have a completely different kind of reality. How about we change the switch and get those quantum energy frequencies from that? And that's going to put you in an altered state of reality that's going to attract different kind of a life for you. So now with these technologies, it's much faster. For example, you have these abundance frequencies that you were just talking to me about, right? It's called
Yes.
ultimate abundance, that comes with the highest kind of vibration, the frequencies that we have. Now, those frequencies, Saju, I probably would have mentioned this to you. They are self-actualization frequencies. There's no more self-realization or healing, right? Anybody who goes through a spiritual journey understands that we first become self-realized. We understand who we are, what we're here to do, what is our purpose in life, who are all these people, my family members, friends, what are they here for? What's my purpose? What am I going to do, right? Once you understand that, and you understand your highest potential and highest truth on a soul level, now it's for you to do self-actualization. Now create whatever you want with that higher understanding. Now,
Mm-hmm.
talking about the abundance, ultimate abundance frequencies, they are self-actualized already, which means it's already the frequency of abundance achieved. So let's say you're currently in a business with this much turnover in a year. You have a reality of you having 10 million or $100 million in a year as your, alternative reality. How about inducing that in your aura so that you start to think as if you're already $100 million business? And once that is bombarded on your field, your aura changes, and now you're going to start attracting something closer or faster to those results.
That makes
So,
a lot of sense. That's very clear explanation. Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you for
so
that. Yeah,
absolutely.
awesome. I mean, I would love to get a reading from you, Sharad, whenever you have time. And I would love for my audience to be able to reach out to you. How can they contact you?
Okay, so for my aura reading and life coaching, I am actually affiliated with this company called Menstrays, and you can actually go there, check my work, check my background, and you can also look at a sample aura reading that I've done, and what kind of steps it entails. So anybody who wants that, I mean, I will give you that link. I probably have given you the link, but yeah, I can send that to you again, and then people can go there and they can have like a complimentary session with me, and then we can do an aura reading, and then if needed, coaching and all of that. If it is coming down to chi life work, as a product consultant. If you want to talk about the product or if you want to know more about the products, I will share another link, which is the company's Calendly link or anything. I mean, I might send you something similar along those lines, and then you can book a call with me there as well, and then see if the system actually resonates with you, because that's more important, right? It's about if it's resonating with you or not. And if it resonates with you, it'll find you. It'll come into your house or your business at the speed of scalar waves, because you cannot attract something which you're not vibrating at. So the only reason that system came to your business was because there was some kind of a quantum entanglement between you and the system. Is just put it that way. We are having this talk right now because there's a quantum entanglement between both of us right now. There's no coincidences in the earth, in the universe. So yeah, that's how people can reach me. And you might find, I don't want to put my email or anything on YouTube because then the spam start coming in, but I'll find a way to sort of share my link and anything of the product and everything for the clients.
We will put whatever links you share with us in the YouTube and all the, in the information section, so people can reach out to you, because I think it would be very beneficial for people to reach out to you and find out where it is and then come to Infinite Love and work on that. We can
Yeah,
help.
absolutely.
We can
If we
work
have
together.
some kind of a tool, sorry. So I was just saying that if we have some kind of a tool where we can have a diagnosis of your entire kind of aura and find what kind of problems are there or what kind of problems could come up in the next few months, and then couple that with the aura coil systems, which can heal or which can, help you in your healing or wellness journey, that'll be the best systems. And for now, I can only do the aura reading with my third eye. I would ideally love a system which can do it, which can find out all of these things so that, it cuts down the time and everything, and sort of become a diagnosis tool, and then use these frequencies and see how these, like, for example, the heart restore. Let's say somebody's heart chakra is blocked, and I use these heart restore frequencies for them and see before and after using the frequencies and see what's changed in that aura. And then that might be like one of the best systems, best thing that she could do. So there's so many possibilities that we all have. So, and we need to heal people much faster. And
Yes,
technology is going to do.
absolutely. And we're here ready to do that. Work with everyone.
Absolutely.
And I'm really, really grateful that you came on. I'm really happy that we got a chance to talk and we clarified a lot about what this system does. I'm even more excited now to work further and further with people with this system. Again, thank you very much for being here.
No problem, Saju. His pleasure is all mine as well. And hopefully it reaches out as many people as it can, and it should, who needs healing. And I'm pretty sure the universe will find its way to heal those people, and the machines will heal people along with the humans. And we need more people like yourself. We need more wellness centers coming up, because there's so many things that the earth has gone through, so many chaotic times that we've actually been through the last few years. Possibly in the next few years, what they say is the next few years as well, we might have a lot of these things that's happened. But ultimately, it's going to be Shiva energies coming down. So when it comes down, there's going to be some kind of destruction and everything. But the destruction is destruction of the old paradigm, the old system, which no longer serves us, whether that's the medical system or the financial system or this corporate slavery, which I would call it. All of these things have to break. And that's where we all play a big part. And I hope that we can all do it together with support from technology, support from AI. That's going to make it much faster for everybody.
Absolutely. So, Mr. Sharat Sashidharan, I pronounce it correct, right?
You're pretty, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much again for being here. You guys, everyone, please go and check him out. He's amazing. Contact him. I think it will really help us out. I know I'm going to. Thank you. And we'll talk to you soon with yet another podcast for Quest for Peace. Thank you.
Quest for Peace, a podcast about navigating outer chaos with inner harmony. Whether you're seeking solace in the midst of life's challenges, or simply curious about the profound connection between inner and outer peace, the Quest for Peace podcast is your guide on this transformative expedition.